Derek, Bertuzzi, is he close? How close is he?
Bertuzzi will be in tomorrow. Obviously, the move of sending Elmer down freed that up. Zadina and Haig are a little further away. They've had some ups and downs. I wouldn't say as far as setbacks, but which is typical of a lower body. So they're a little further away, but Bertuzzi will be in tomorrow night.
I'll just say, we had him skating with Larkin and Raymond.
Yep, we'll start with that.
Familiar
Yep. Well, obviously, it's a line that has some success. Unfortunately, Bert's been out most of the year. We haven't had too many looks at that line together. So we'll give them an opportunity tomorrow and see how it goes.
How difficult was it setting down Elmer? I mean, it's definitely done good things, but probably could still use some.
For sure. He has done some great things. Some ups and downs in his play, was probably on an up of late. Obviously, he's created some offense for us, especially in that stretch where, the 3 or 4 wins before these 3 losses. We scored 7, we scored 4, we scored 5. Obviously, in the last 3 games, I think we went 1-2-1, which obviously is not a recipe for success. But he's created some of that offense. So, but at the same time, we didn't have him on either special teams. The other night, obviously, we played a really good first 30 minutes. We're chasing in the third. It turned into a lot of special teams, and he only got 8.5 minutes. So he'll go down and grow his game, and I think there's going to be a bright future for Elmer.
What areas does he still need some, work on or whatnot?
Making a little more fast twitch in his entire game. I mean, you can see sometimes he gets gobbled up with a forecheck on the half wall or the odd turnover, some detail in his defensive game. But he grew in all those areas, which was impressive. I mean, literally from his first return from us from the injury and a couple games down in GR, it's a while back, if you recall, but literally his first shift, he turned the puck over on the half wall that ended up in the back of our net. And from that point on, he's done a good job of eliminating that type of play. So there's been really good growth in a young player, which is all you can ask.
Derek, how do you get this turned around here? Because it sounds like there's been you've seen a lot of good play the last 3 games, but the results aren't.
Yeah, we got to flip these tight games. Yeah, I mean, even your comment of seeing a lot of good play in the last 3 games, absolutely, there's some truth to that. We rolled into Toronto on a back-to-back, a tough back-to-back. We probably get at 2 a.m. through customs, and we limit them to 2 shots on net the entire period. And if you recall, the second shot was from the goal line at the buzzer, probably technically not even a shot. And then their 4th shot came at the 27-minute mark, and obviously it went in. Unfortunately, had 2 goals and 4 shots. So that's probably what you're alluding to with some good play. But the power play, special teams, you have this stretch where we score 1-2-1. We need a power play goal to give us a chance to get to 3 or to 2 or to extend a lead or to take a lead. And unfortunately, the timing of the penalty kill too. Like even the last game was pretty. You hold Toronto 1 for 5. They almost have 8 minutes on the power play, but it was a power play goal. As unfortunate it is, a wide shot. Marner scores from the goal line from distance, but it turned the game. It was a really good first period. All of a sudden, it's all lost, and all of a sudden 1-1. So I think there's a little stick to it. And find some more within special teams and a little more in our 5-on-5 offense to flip these tight games.
Is the power play too just because earlier in the year, even if you weren't scoring, you were gaining momentum off
Yes.
of looks, and it just seems to have been so flat lately.
There's some momentum drain for sure. I mean, look the other night. Obviously, our 5-on-5 play, what we just talked about, was very good. And we sprinkled in those 2 power plays, and it kind of deflated us. We got some looks on the second tail end of the power play. So yeah, you want possession, you want looks. We had a different look. We're going to put both Fabs and Bert together on the power play, and we need to start figuring some things out for a little spark.
Is Bert another guy going to monitor these first?
Yes, you have to. I think But we'll give him some opportunities. Obviously, he's playing with Dylan and Raymond, and he's going to be net front on that first unit. So,
Maybe a little bit of a frustrating season for him too. I mean, just hasn't
course.
played a lot this season.
of course, it's got to be frustrating for him, just in the way he went down. And literally 4 periods in, he goes down. He comes back, gets a few games under his belt. He's trying to get some rhythm going. He goes down again. So, but that's behind him. He's back in tomorrow. He's looked great in the last 3, 4, 5 practices, and now hopefully it translates into tomorrow's game.
Is Nina more of the road trip as a target, or?
I hope so. And again, he was in a true no contact today. He had a little bit of setback, which is understandable. The lower body, especially the type of lower body injury he had. So, yeah, maybe the road trip target date, probably still in that week to week with him. But we'll monitor it after, this week and go from there.
What's the,
Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Yeah, and what did you know about Wallman before you got here? Did you know what you're reading?
No, I did have some familiarity with Wallman. Nate Lehman was his college coach. He's the head coach at Providence, was a roommate of mine back in college, knew Jake from his USHL days, so I was familiar with him. Obviously, not a lot within the National Hockey League. A pleasant surprise and a huge credit to him. And again, I've had to answer 4 or 5 of these, which is great in a positive way because his play is really good right now. And it's credit to him. It's still he's winning battles. He's skating. He's closing gaps. He's confident with the puck. Even those underlying numbers in the last 4 or 5 games, he's our best D-man. Hence the increased role. First matchups, got some power play time. Obviously, a ton of penalty kills. So, going to keep building him. Hopefully, he can sustain it. Hopefully, he understands his approach and work ethic he's put in to where his game is now can continue.
Nedeljkovic seems to have done exactly what you hoped for in the minors. Are you keeping him there for?
Yeah, he will finish off his full conditioning stint, but awesome. It's all you can ask. We went down there, asked him to go down there, get his game in order, and it's exactly what he did. 3 excellent starts, and again, there's winning, there's good numbers, but there's playing well, and he's playing well down there. So he has 3 more opportunities. I don't know if he'll play all 3. That'll be up to Benny and the staff in Grand Rapids, but he'll play Wednesday, I'm sure, at least one on the weekend. And I would, like I said, when he went down, we have not given up on Neto, and he continues his stint like that, we'd have no problem giving him another opportunity in net here.
What kind of feedback are you hearing on Vrana? His numbers under second.
Yeah, I just think he's trying to build his game. I got the question the other night, you're not scoring goals, it would be great to have Vrana. Of course it would on potential. But right now, all it is potential. He's had 6 games down there. He's yet to score. He's a -6. And again, sometimes those numbers are what they are, but I just think it's going to take some time. He's a young man, has been out of hockey for almost 2 full months. It's going to take some time. So hopefully he continue to build on some things, get his game in order, and contribute to that potential for us. He's been pretty consistent. He's been a darn good player. We've asked a ton from him. He is the one player that's consistently got the other team's top matchup. And within our division, within our conference, it's a lot to ask for in a top matchup. And he's been pretty darn consistent. So, those 2 of late have been good. And obviously, we're going through some of these games, only giving up a handful of chances against, and they're doing it against top lines. So Mo's been pretty darn consistent and good throughout. And yes, those last 4 or 5 games, those 2 have been good. They both have just playing assertive, playing fast twitch. They can both skate. But again, I like how they can skate. They're both very noticeable with the puck at times, but I think you got to appreciate their commitment to defense of late. They've both been very good.
Husso back in tomorrow?
Husso will be back in tomorrow, yes.
Jets coming in
winning 5 straight. What have they done well this little stretch, and what do you guys need to do well tomorrow to cut that at 5?
You know, they're playing the right way. They're committed to keeping out of the net more than put it in the net, and obviously with some of the special elite talent they have finished. They're building around a Vezina caliber type goalie. It's fun to watch. It's an example of a team playing the right way and getting rewarded for it. So I think it's going to look exactly like our last 3 games. Now it's up to us to flip one of these tight games and put it in the win column.
Do you think guys are looking at the standings or are looking at the standings and just, is that it demoralizing?
I think so. I just think that's human nature to look at the standings. We don't really talk about it. I think we're realistic on where we're at, but obviously we went 3 of 4. You start flirting with it. Now we're games in hand. You can visualize it. So I'm sure these last 3 games, but again, it can, I'm sure, demoralizing, but it has not looked demoralizing their play. And again, we come off 2 tough losses in which we had some pretty good play, probably lost both games because of our special teams. And then we go right into Toronto and we give up 0 chances and 2 shots on net in the first 20 minutes. Our guys, they're competing and trying. Now it's getting that next step of flipping some of these tight games.